Hello everybody and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It's time now for the High School Notebook brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin, and we are joined once again by Matt Trabold. Matt, great to have you back.
Thanks for having me on.
Matt, let's start off talking about the record that was a record, then wasn't a record. Chloe DeLyser down at Marion. What's your take on this whole national record and what she did and didn't do according to them?
Yeah, so a bunch of media, including me, were out at Marion's second last regular season game against Gananda, and it seemed like the National Federation records, she needed a hat trick in order to get that U.S. record for overall career scoring for girls soccer. Esmond Gonzalez from a 5A school in Fort Worth, Texas had it so far. She went out and bullied a program in Gananda that just a couple years ago was a stalwart in Class C. She had a hat trick in just 12 minutes. It was this great night. That last one of her hat trick came off. Beautiful service from her 8th grade little sister, Abigail. I mean, you couldn't write the stuff. But unfortunately, and I should say also, she got up to 5 goals in that game. They put her in the second half, so even added to a great night. But unfortunately, a few days later, you had some unfortunate news come out. First off, that morning, it looked like, oh no, the national records for the National Federation, which is supposed to be this big-time organization, and still is, they had them incomplete. They weren't up to date. Cassie Ginther, who is now an Iowa State Cyclone, she came from a Missouri high school. She had 319 as well. So right then, 319. It came out later that day, which is probably more important because you had one more game left in the regular season for Marion. On top of it, National Federation says we're not going to count that as a national record because it came in 6 years with 2 middle school years, even though they were high school seasons. Instead of them all coming freshman to senior, there was 4 years. So let's see if they stick to it now because Soda's game, she added 4 more goals, so she's at 323 over that 319 mark. My take on it is, I think, yes, it's important, and I understand that Cassie Ginther had to do her 319 in a matter of 4 years, but I think I would have understood it even more if you're choosing not to penalize a middle school girl like she was back in the day, scoring goals, 7th grader, 8th grader. She was better and superior to high school age girls at her own school in order to be on varsity as a younger player. I think even more importantly, on top of that, she was obviously more superior to high school age girls on other teams because she was scoring against them. So I think I understand both sides, but I think I understand that latter one a little bit more.
That's the way I see it. It's not like you're asking them to count modified goals scored by a 7th and 8th grader as an all-time record. She was scoring against varsity competition. I don't care what grade she was. So you're telling me if she was a 7th grader running cross country or track, say she's running track, she sets a world record in the mile. Wouldn't happen, but just in case. So the National High School Federation wouldn't recognize that as a national record, even though a track association could recognize it as a world record or something like that. It's just, I know that's an absurd example, but to me, it's absurd that they would say, well, because she wasn't in high school, it doesn't count. She was playing high school competition, so I think it should count as a record. But that's just, and bottom line, she's going to Ohio State. Yeah. So good for her, great career, and it's still a great story for the area to have. She's a fantastic player and a fantastic girl. We got to talk to her last year, and it was great to go down there. Some more high school, further down south, talk about the Bath Rams a little bit.
Yeah, so 4 Section 5 boys teams ended the regular season with an undefeated record. We've talked previously on this show about East Rochester out of Class C, the biggest school of the foursome, Class B, Bath-Haverling Rams. That's a big mark for them as well. In terms of not being a Class AA school or Class A school, a little smaller, but on the field, the guys aren't smaller. Thomas Binkowski and the regular season with 25 goals. Lorenzo Serafini, they have the size in order to stay on the ball through contact, to mix with their foot skill. Jordan Dietz in net, his really good command of his box. And it's not like they're downstate school. They're playing nobody. They have 3 wins against a couple teams in Livonia and World of Inquiry who have won a lot of recent Section 5 titles. They've beat Hornell twice. I think they are legit. They had some trouble in Section 5 versus Section 6 games last year in regionals. We'll see what they can do this year.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Bath, one of those teams that is always strong. They've had a program that's been one to look up to for a while down there. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College right after this.